Here's a truth most men won't admit. You don't have to be her type to make a woman chase you. Yes, even if she seems completely uninterested, even if she's giving off signals that say, "I'm not that into you." There are ways to flip the dynamic and ignite attraction almost instantly. The mistake most men make is thinking that attraction has to be earned over months of effort, or that it depends entirely on looks, money, or charm. It doesn't. What matters is psychology, presence, and understanding what triggers desire in women. Women are wired to respond to energy, confidence, and challenge, often subconsciously. They are drawn to men who are emotionally grounded, self-respecting, and interesting. If you're reactive, needy, or desperate for approval, attraction fades. But if you create the right tension, curiosity, and sense of value, even a woman who seems indifferent can start chasing you without realizing why. This isn't about manipulation. It's about awareness. It's about showing up as a man who naturally commands attention and respect while giving her space to notice your value. The secret lies in understanding how women evaluate men, not based on effort alone, but based on consistency, confidence, and subtle signals that indicate high value. When done right, these techniques make her curious, emotionally engaged, and invested in earning your attention. Today, we're going to break down how to make any woman chase you, even if she's not interested, by focusing on the psychology behind attraction and the behaviors that naturally spark it. You'll learn how to stop giving away your power, create intrigue, and position yourself as someone worth pursuing, without playing games or pretending to be someone you're not. Welcome to the channel. If you're here, you're looking for honest insight, actionable strategies, and a way to finally understand how to shift dynamics in your favor with women. This isn't theory. It's practical, simple, and proven advice for men who want to take control of their dating life. Now let's dive in and explore the 7 key ways to create instant pursuit and attraction, so that even a woman who seemed uninterested will start noticing you in a completely different light. 1. Stop chasing. Let her feel the pull. The first mistake most men make is chasing too hard. They see a woman they like, and the second she shows any interest, they throw themselves at her, texting constantly, complimenting excessively, and trying to prove their worth. The problem is simple. Chasing kills attraction. Women are naturally drawn to men who have options, who value themselves, and who don't revolve around her attention. When you chase, you send the message that your value depends on her validation. That's not attractive. It's neediness. Imagine this. She's been talking to you for a few days. Every time she texts, you respond immediately. You make plans the moment she hints at wanting to hang out. At first, it feels exciting to her, but very quickly, the dynamic shifts. She starts to feel comfortable because she knows she can get your attention whenever she wants. The tension disappears, and so does the spark. The chase is over before it even started. Instead, the power is in stepping back and letting her feel the pull. When she reaches out, respond thoughtfully, not reflexively. Give her space to notice your absence and reflect on her own feelings. When you stop chasing, she starts chasing. She begins thinking about you more, wondering what you're up to, and imagining the interaction if you were around. The dynamic flips. This doesn't mean ignoring her or playing mind games. It's about creating a balance, showing interest without losing yourself in the process. Your attention becomes earned, not freely given. She begins to respect that your life is full, that you have priorities, and that you're not desperate for her validation. Men often overlook this because it feels counterintuitive. The instinct is to pursue hard when you like someone. But attraction is less about proving your value through effort and more about letting her feel your absence and desire your presence. That tension, that subtle pull, is what sparks her curiosity and makes her chase. When you step back and stop chasing, you're not playing games. You're reclaiming your power, creating mystery, and setting the stage for genuine attraction that isn't dependent on constant validation. She will notice, she will respond, and suddenly the dynamic is yours to control. 2. Be unpredictable. Trigger curiosity. One of the most powerful ways to make a woman chase you is to be unpredictable in subtle, natural ways. Predictability breeds comfort, and while comfort feels safe, it rarely sparks desire. Women are drawn to mystery and intrigue, to men whose behavior isn't entirely obvious or easy to read. Being unpredictable doesn't mean playing games or being manipulative. It's about keeping her mentally engaged and curious about what you'll do or say next. It's about showing that your life is full, exciting, and not centered around her alone. When she can't anticipate every reaction, she starts paying closer attention. She notices patterns, looks for hints of your thoughts, and becomes more invested in your presence. Unpredictability can take many forms. It could be the timing of your responses, sometimes quick, sometimes delayed, but always intentional. It could be the way you approach plans. You don't always drop everything to accommodate her, but when you show up, it's impactful. It can even be in small conversational choices, teasing her unexpectedly, sharing something interesting about your life, or showing a spontaneous side she didn't see coming. These subtle shifts create intrigue. The psychology behind this is simple. Curiosity drives pursuit. When a woman feels unsure of exactly what to expect from you, she becomes more engaged and invested. She starts thinking about you when you're not around, wondering what you're doing, how you'll react, and whether she can capture your attention. That mental energy she spends on you translates into pursuit. She starts chasing without realizing she's doing it. The key is balance. Too much unpredictability can make you seem unreliable or emotionally unavailable. Too little, and she loses interest because everything about you is obvious. The sweet spot is intentional unpredictability, showing that you're confident, grounded, and in control, while still being intriguing and dynamic. Remember, women are wired to respond to men who create emotional and mental engagement. When you're slightly unpredictable, you force her to step out of autopilot. She becomes curious, she wants to know more, and suddenly the pursuit shifts, from you chasing her to her chasing you. 3. Exude confidence. Without saying a word. Confidence is one of the most attractive traits a man can have, and the best part is that it doesn't always require words. Women pick up on energy, body language, and behavior long before they listen to what you actually say. The men who naturally spark pursuit are those who carry themselves with quiet assurance, who are comfortable in their own skin, and who don't rely on external validation. Confidence shows in small ways. How you walk into a room, how you hold your posture, and even how you manage your phone when she texts you all communicate value. A man who responds calmly, doesn't panic if she's slow to reply, and prioritizes his own life projects and energy that women find magnetic. It tells her, this man is secure, he knows his worth, and his attention is not freely given. Another aspect of confidence is decisiveness. When you make plans, set boundaries, or express your preferences without hesitation, you show that you're in control of your life. Women notice this instinctively. They don't need long explanations or justifications. They feel it in your energy. You're not asking for approval. You're living on your terms. That naturally shifts the dynamic, so she starts chasing your presence rather than the other way around. Confidence also means embracing comfort with silence. Not every text needs an immediate response. Not every interaction needs over-explaining. When you're confident, you're not trying to prove yourself constantly. This kind of grounded energy creates tension and curiosity, two essential ingredients for attraction. Importantly, confidence without arrogance is key. Arrogance repels, but grounded confidence draws her in. A man who laughs easily, teases playfully, and demonstrates self-respect shows that he's approachable but not desperate for attention. That energy encourages her to invest more in pursuing you. Women are wired to chase men who display emotional and behavioral stability. By exuding quiet confidence in everything you do, from how you respond to her texts to how you manage your daily life, you signal high value. That signal alone can make even a woman who seemed uninterested start seeking your attention and effort. 4. Limit your availability. Make your time valuable. One of the biggest mistakes men make is being too available. The moment a woman reaches out, some men drop everything to respond immediately or rearrange their plans just to accommodate her. While it may feel like the right move, constant availability diminishes your value and kills the spark. Women are naturally drawn to men who have their own lives, priorities, and boundaries. Men whose time is not easily accessible. Limiting your availability isn't about ignoring her or playing hard to get. It's about communicating that your time is precious. When you show that you have a full life, she begins to see you as someone worth pursuing. She notices that you're selective with your energy, and suddenly, spending time with you feels like a reward rather than an obligation. This works on a psychological level because scarcity increases desire. When something is always present, it's taken for granted. When it's limited, curiosity and interest grow. By being strategic with your availability, you create natural tension and anticipation. She starts to wonder what you're doing, who else you're spending time with, and why she wants to earn your attention. That tension sparks pursuit. Another key point is balance. Being unavailable too often or for too long can make you seem disinterested or emotionally distant. The goal is intentional limitation, responding when it makes sense for you, engaging when you want, and maintaining control over your schedule. This approach signals independence, confidence, and value without coming across as manipulative. Men often misinterpret being busy as weakness or a lack of interest. In reality, it's one of the most powerful ways to shift attraction in your favor. She begins to invest more effort, energy, and attention into the interaction because she sees that your attention is earned, not freely given. By managing your availability strategically, you make yourself more desirable. You create a dynamic where she is drawn to pursue you, pay attention, and value your time. And all of this happens naturally, without any games or overcomplication. 5. Create emotional tension. Make her feel. One of the most effective ways to make a woman chase you is to create emotional tension. Attraction isn't built solely on compliments, gifts, or attention. It's built on the feelings you inspire. Women are drawn to men who make them feel alive, curious, and emotionally engaged. If every interaction is calm, predictable, and neutral, the spark never ignites. Think about this. She's texting you about her day, and instead of giving the expected, "That's nice" reply, you tease her playfully about something she said, or respond in a way that sparks curiosity. Maybe you make her laugh, lightly challenge her perspective, or hint at something exciting in your life without giving away all the details. That little push-pull creates emotional tension, and tension is what drives pursuit. Emotional tension works because it stimulates her subconscious desire to engage. When a woman experiences unpredictable energy, a mix of warmth, humor, and challenge, her brain starts to focus on you. She begins thinking about your messages, replaying the interactions, and wondering what you'll do next. That mental investment triggers the chase. It's important to note that this doesn't mean being aggressive, rude, or playing cruel games. It's subtle. A flirty comment, a slight delay in response, a playful tease, or showing a confident boundary can all generate the right kind of tension. The goal is to make her feel something that's exciting, not frustrated or alienated. Here's a situation that illustrates the point naturally. She texts, "I had such a boring day." Instead of saying, "That's too bad, hope tomorrow's better," you might reply, "Boring? I don't believe you. You must have done something mischievous I'd love to hear about." That tiny shift turns a neutral conversation into one where she's emotionally engaged. Suddenly, she's thinking about you, smiling at your words, and wanting to continue the interaction. Creating emotional tension consistently makes your presence addictive. It pulls her attention toward you, sparks curiosity, and encourages her to invest emotionally, all without you having to chase or overexert yourself. The more she experiences this tension, the more she begins to pursue your attention and presence naturally. 6. Show, don't tell. Actions beat words. Another critical way to make a woman chase you is to focus on actions, not just words. Too many men rely on talking about their value, sending long texts about how interesting or successful they are, or trying to convince a woman she should be interested. The truth is, words alone rarely create attraction. Actions are what really matter. Women pay attention to what you do more than what you say. Your lifestyle, how you carry yourself, and how you prioritize your time communicate value far more effectively than a clever line or a compliment. If you consistently demonstrate confidence, independence, and emotional stability, she notices, even if she doesn't say it out loud. Being action-oriented also means following through with what you say. If you suggest plans, make sure you follow through. If you set boundaries, stick to them. Consistency shows reliability, but also that your attention isn't cheap. A man who does what he says and lives with integrity becomes someone women respect and want to pursue. Another part of this principle is leading the interaction subtly. Instead of asking for attention, show it selectively. For example, if she texts first, reply with a playful or confident tone rather than over-explaining or over-apologizing. If she asks to meet, suggest a plan that works for your schedule, not hers. These small actions communicate that you have your own life and priorities, a magnetic trait that encourages pursuit. Men often fall into the trap of over-promising or over-explaining to appear attractive. They think that talking about their value is enough. It's not. Women respond to lived value, the proof in how you carry yourself and interact. When your actions consistently reflect high self-worth, your words become irrelevant. She starts chasing you because she's already observing your energy and life in motion. Ultimately, showing rather than telling flips the dynamic. You no longer have to convince her to pursue you. She's drawn to your confidence, independence, and grounded presence. Actions create emotional engagement and curiosity, which are far more powerful than any line or explanation you could offer. 7. Challenge her respectfully. Make her earn you. One of the most overlooked ways to make a woman chase you is to challenge her in a respectful and confident way. This isn't about being rude or arrogant. It's about creating a dynamic where she has to earn your attention and respect. Women are naturally drawn to men who set standards for themselves and don't hand over validation freely. When you challenge her, it triggers curiosity and investment. It signals that you're a man who values himself, has boundaries, and isn't easily swayed by flattery or casual attention. For example, if she suggests plans that don't fit your schedule or priorities, you can respond with a confident, "I can't make that, but I'm free another time," instead of immediately adjusting to her desires. This shows self-respect and subtly encourages her to invest in earning your time. Challenging her can also be playful. Light teasing, gentle pushback, or playful banter can create mental and emotional engagement. It makes interactions fun, exciting, and slightly unpredictable, which fuels her desire to chase. Women respond to men who are interesting, grounded, and capable of holding their frame without being harsh or dismissive. A key point for men is constructive reflection. If you notice that you're always agreeing with her, accommodating her every suggestion, or constantly giving in to keep her happy, it's time to wake up. This behavior often comes from fear of rejection or the desire to be liked, but it lowers attraction and respect. Women are drawn to men who have self-respect and clear standards. By challenging her appropriately, you naturally elevate your perceived value. It's important to balance challenge with warmth. You don't want to create tension that feels negative or confrontational. The goal is to engage her curiosity, create intrigue, and show that your attention is earned, not given freely. When done correctly, this approach flips the dynamic. Instead of you chasing her, she begins pursuing you, excited, invested, and intrigued. Reflect on your interactions. Are you giving away too much, too easily? Are you chasing validation? Start setting respectful boundaries, engage playfully, and challenge her in subtle ways. These small but consistent changes create an energy that makes any woman want to pursue you, even if she initially seemed uninterested. Here's a hard truth many men don't realize. Attraction is less about who you are and more about how you make a woman feel. You can be smart, good-looking, or successful, but if you give away your attention too easily, act predictably, or fail to create tension and intrigue, you'll never see her chase you. On the other hand, by mastering subtle energy, emotional engagement, and confident boundaries, you can spark pursuit even from a woman who initially seemed uninterested. The strategies we covered, stopping the chase, being unpredictable, exuding confidence, limiting availability, creating emotional tension, showing through actions, and challenging her respectfully, all work together to shift the dynamic. They position you as a man who values himself, who has a full life, and who isn't easily swayed by casual attention. That combination naturally ignites curiosity, respect, and desire. Here's a provocative statement to leave you thinking. Most men sabotage attraction before it even starts, simply by being too available or too eager. The moment you stop reacting impulsively and start controlling your energy, you flip the dynamic completely. She begins to wonder about you, think about you, and most importantly, chase you. I want to hear from you. Share your experiences in the comments. Tell me how you've tried to create pursuit, what worked and what didn't. I read every comment and engage personally because real learning comes from real stories, not just theory. Remember, this isn't about manipulation. It's about understanding psychology, owning your value, and creating natural attraction. When you combine confidence, strategic engagement, emotional tension, and boundaries, you become a man who inspires curiosity and pursuit, the kind of man women want to chase. Start applying these principles today and watch the dynamic shift in your favor.